Today I'll be reviewing Y Combinator's co-founder matching platform. So to start off, I would like to review my own profile. Just in order to protect privacy, I will skip names, dates, and places. So here I state that I'm technical, ready within 3 months, have some ideas, willing to do product, engineering, design, sales, marketing, and operations. In the About Me sections, I mentioned that I started into website development, ActionScript gaming, PHP web apps, React frontends, Linux servers, and some other technology that I was learning at the time. As for the personal accomplishment, I put a link of a website that I worked on a while ago. So this is the application I developed around 2020 and the one which I applied for Y Combinator at the time. Then I talk about my education, and as for employment, I mentioned the several organizations and positions that I held through the years. I think I mentioned some potential ideas, and finally, and I think this is very relevant. Uh, what is it that I'm looking for in a co-founder? Which is not set in a specific idea, technical, ready within 3 months, in my vision and aligned with my interest. I mentioned that if people, if the ones that are contacting me are set in an idea, I review it and I base my decision off of that. Very, very important line in here. And finally, as for equity expectations, equal split, which is pretty standard. E-commerce, entertainment, fintech, AI, consumer, and wellness are my interests. Now I have some active matches and some pending invitations, but I will not be reviewing those. I will just focus on the arcade matches, which are the interactions that I had through the years. So the first one is technical, passive looking, committed to an idea. I'm willing to do project, engineering, design, sales, marketing, and operations. So in my profile, I specify very clearly that I'm looking for technical persons. So, and that meaning being other software engineers. So apparently he's one. He mentions he's a computer science dropout. Some background, some employment, nothing really. Very varied jobs, not software specific. He doesn't mention anything about a company. He has no company. And looking for a co-founder. Okay. Okay, how did it went? He talks to me about some of my past academic experience, and then I ask him if he has any ideas to discuss. Um, Here he's mentioning that he's developing some machine drop related stuff, detecting, and I don't recall exactly. So he mentions that he's raising some money soon, and he makes some bold marketing jargon statements. I reply with some more in-depth questions about his claims. I wanted to know what the magic sauce was. He talks about some AI app that needs to be built, so I inquire him about that. And yeah, I didn't get a reply. So I don't know what happened in here. Perhaps some people don't like being questioned, or perhaps he didn't have the answers for that. Who knows? So next one, this guy wanted to connect with me. He wants to set up a Google Meet, and yeah, I tell him it's okay. From his profile, I can gather that he's non-technical, full-time in a startup, committed to an idea, and want to do sales and marketing. So not technical, not the type of person that I want to connect with, but I'm open. And about me, he talks about some restaurant business he have, and then some personal information. As for employment, he mentions being founder, manager, and CEO of several corporations through the time. And he talks about some, as for his project, she mentions a healthcare company acquisition consultation platform, whatever that is. So how I went. Well, on the meeting, he started off by talking about some sub story about some relative of him. I think it was his mother that had died, something during COVID times, and that was the reason he wanted an entrepreneur in the healthcare industry. I don't recall the specifics of what he wanted, but I did recall he wanted to make an app of healthcare, and he was looking for someone to develop it. I started to inquire him about the corporation that he had set up, and I started to make like tough questions about how that business model was working on, if whether that was included or not in the startup he was trying to set up. And apparently he didn't like those questions. At some point he tried to like move on with it with another subject, trying she was trying to talk to me more about this the startup he was building and the app he wanted to create. He didn't really want to talk about the other corporation that was related, but given that this is important to me and it is just isn't something that would overlook. And so just to summarize, at some point in the interaction, he pretended like he couldn't hear me through the AirPods. She was like, yeah, it was awful. And, he planned to play smart. He tried to play smart ass on me. And yeah, uh, it is what it is. So the conversation ended. And yeah, there isn't anything else to say. So next one, technical, passive looking, having some ideas, willing to explore other ideas, willing to do sales, marketing, operation, design, engineering, and product. So from his profile, I can gather that he was a registered nurse. He mentions a boot camp on software web development. As for employment, she just mentioned um, application analyst and application advisor, but not really software development specifically. So on the meeting, she showed me an app, the Talking Jesus app that you enter questions and you will be answered if you were talking to Jesus. Um, that was modeled after the Bible, if I recall correctly. So his startup idea was something like doing that with books, and he wanted to create a service that you could talk to a book. Let's say, for instance, Harry Potter, and you will ask questions and talking to the book. Some form of competition to the Amazon Reading app. So I inquired him how much has he worked on the app, and basically he has done nothing. Uh, he started to make a bunch of excuses that why he couldn't code it, and he talked about some headaches he had by. So all in all, he really wasn't a software engineer. So he had attended to some bootcamp and had some developing understanding, but not really a software engineer. So that was kind of sketchy on his part, and I decided not to move on with him. Last one, this guy was a software engineer, uh, but I never really got a reply back. Next one, technically passively looking, commenting on idea, willing to do engineering and product. On his profiles, he mentioned like some Uber Lyft integration as his day job, and he asked for employment. He did had some software engineering experience. As for the startup he is working on, he puts a link that I actually got to navigate and had an idea of what it was all about. We set up a video meeting, and long story short, the guy has been working on his app for about several years. I don't recall how many, like 3 4 years. It was a lot, which was a massive red flag. He had already launched the app at one point, but it didn't work out. I don't recall the specifics, but it was some social app, Reddit like, as he described it, that where you will like make answers or answers questions, and there will be some psychology feature involved. But yeah, I mean, with such a massive red flag, a product he was been working on for so long, and he already launched and didn't work, and he's what, like iterating on it or reworking it entirely. I don't know. It's just kind of those kind of products are dead on arrival, in my opinion. So yeah, massive red flag. I had to move on. I mean, there's no way I was working in a project like that. Just kind of dead on arrival. So next guy, I didn't get to meet him. He wasn't a software engineer. And finally, someone who I also didn't get to meet. He was a software engineer interested in blockchain. So in probably I had way many more matches than this. But well, this is the ones that are archiving here. From these 7 matches, I'd only get to meet with 4 of them. From these 4, only 2 of them were actual software developers. The other was kind of a liar, and one of them was a business guy. So how was the experience? I will say that it's nice to be able to connect with people, random people, talk to them, get to know them, get to see what they're working on and what they're expecting from you. It's okay if you would like to try it, but don't expect much out of it. I really didn't get anything out of it in terms of an actual co-founder or a project to join to. I do believe that there is one flaw in the platform that people can specify that they're technical, but oftentimes they're not. And be careful with a lot of people that don't bring much to the table. As a software engineer, you're very valuable, and you shouldn't take people lightly. You should really and thoroughly make tough questions on them, especially when they're not coders. You have to be really tough on them with the questions about the business ideas and what is it that they're gonna do. Because it's very easy to join the platform and request and look for someone who code the thing for you, but if it's not very clear what is it that you're gonna do, then you're just wasting people's time. That'll be it for today. Have a good one.